Mr. Beast just asked us to give away his car to a complete stranger.
Okay, so we had the car here. It's looking fuego.
But it didn't exactly go to plan. In fact, it was a complete disaster.
I swear this is gonna die.
So to give you guys a little bit of background, Feastables just dropped here in the UK. Now, obviously because it's Mr. Beast, you're not just buying a chocolate bar, you're also being entered into a giveaway to win a freaking car. And it just so happens that we only live a couple of hours away from where the winner is. So to save Jimmy flying across the world to give away the car, we became his UPS delivery drivers for the day.
Those memories that we had.
Before we even hit the road, we ran into our first issue.
Yay! No, you didn't. You wore the same jumper. How are you in the same outfit,
You're wearing the same
bruh?
shorts and shoes
And socks! Bruh, should I change?
God damn!
For someone that's supposed to be in fashion that has this many clothes.
Why you act like I did it? You did it!
We've even got the same team.
During our 3.5-hour drive, we ran into some pretty horrific weather. And little did we know, this would get a lot worse later on.
Man, we shouldn't have worn shorts. Right, I'm retreating back to the car. It is too rainy.
Hey, it does actually, it feels warm.
It does put it on warm.
Oh, does it? I thought it was just for show.
And just to make matters worse, Elliot forgot to put the car on charge the night before.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Even though I reminded him like 50 times. So we began our journey with way less battery than we needed to complete the journey. So we knew that we were gonna have to stop a few times on the way. The problem with having to stop is that we had to be there at 2 p.m. and charging, it takes too much time.
You will never guess what we just found on the way to see Mr. Beast. 69% should be good.
Giggity.
Yeah, we'll get there with 16%. Yo! Do you reckon I should tell him we're gonna be a little late, or?
You could.
Move! Bro, you let everyone in. You're the worst driver.
I'm not gonna block him off.
Take me home to the place, coming around the mountain, coming around the mountain, Africa. So apparently, something to do with I Spice. If you were to like measure the dimensions of the right proportions of.
Can we just talk about the political and economical state of the world for once? Am I greasy? It's my new moisturizer, is it
What? What are you talking about?
It's not mattifying moisturizer.
So we arrived on 19% battery.
You know what? Is that actually happened?
And you may think that hey, 19% can get you pretty far, but the reality is I hardly even knew where we were, and taking a look at the Tesla map, there was no charges around for quite a while. And to top it all off, we didn't even know where we were going to be shooting this video to give away the car. So Max from Feastables, and you can tell that he's from America because he got an Uber from London to Milton Keynes, which is what, like an hour drive. It'll cost him well over £100. And then when he gets to the rough area where we were gonna record, he was completely stranded. Like, we are talking in the countryside of England. There's no Ubers around there. So of course, he messages us on the pathetic 19% that we had to come and pick him up. So with Max in the back seat, we headed to the parking lot to see the package we are supposed to deliver.
On the stakeout, and right now, what I'm looking at is the car they're giving away to somebody who bought a chocolate bar. Somebody bought this and freaking gets a brand new
Aston Martin. Oh, it's tiny over there.
That's Max over there talking to the guy who works at the dealership for this Aston Martin. So we picked up Max in our 20% battery Tesla, which could die very, very soon. Bro, it's gonna die. I swear this is gonna die, because look where the closest charger is. That's the closest one. and only 3 stalls are available. Basically, they're trying to figure out like where's the best place to do this giveaway. So the guy who's getting this car, where is he? I don't know. He's on his way or something?
Yeah, I think he comes at 3.
The person who wins this car turns up. What was going through your head as you're walking up to them and you're what's the first thing that you're thinking?
Alright, so I'm not even gonna lie, I've heard Mr. Beast talk about how when he gives stuff away, the hardest thing is when you put a camera in someone's face, they kind of freeze up, they feel a little bit awkward because not everyone's comfortable being behind a camera. So in my mind, I was like, okay, when I get to this person, I'm gonna try and, transfer my energy and excitement to them so they don't feel awkward and they don't, we don't ruin the video because of that. But, and this was kind of a haymaker, when I was talking about, okay, who was the winner, Max said that it was a she. Now, I think for most people, this wouldn't really make a difference, but for me, in my mind, I was gonna like dap this guy up and be like, yo, but then when it comes to a girl, I can't dap a girl up. I was thinking,
high five.
High five.
Now, she also came with her entire family, right? So her husband, her kids, and they're all there to see this, and you kind of have to make it exciting for them.
Yeah, exactly. And so this kind of was like, okay, baby, I'm not even gonna go for the high five anymore. I'm just gonna try and be as enthusiastic as possible.
I will also add, you walk up to them with your hood up. It's raining, and you've got this massive hoodie on, you go with your hood up, and you do, what I'm trying to say here is that they've just won a car. But as we know, anybody who has an email address, there's a bunch of Nigerian princes trying to give you a car.
And then just to make it even worse, it was still absolutely shitting it down with rain.
Being behind the camera, I can see this whole interaction going down. I can see how much you're trying to get a reaction, but clearly that wasn't really working. So what do you think about the reaction she ended up giving to this?
I specifically remember trying to be like, oh, look at this cool car over here. And then she was just like, didn't really say anything. And then I was like, so what are your first thoughts? And all it was amazing.
Amazing.
I don't think it helped that also they pulled up way too far away from the car. So there was this really long, awkward walk going from the car that they pulled up in over to the car that they just won. So it's like, yep, it's over here. Look at this car. Just a couple more steps and we're still okay. Okay. Finally, we get to the car. It was a bit awkward.
The thing is, we quickly found out after going through several awkward interactions, me making jokes that she didn't laugh to, why she wasn't that enthusiastic or laughing at the jokes that I made. So for example, I was like, oh, who are you gonna flex on first with this car? And she was like, I don't even know.
All of your jokes were predicated on her owning this car, right? So I think that's a key point to mention.
Exactly. And so when Max from Feastables asked her, what are you gonna do with the car? She was like, can I be honest? And she said, I'm gonna be selling it back to the dealership. And at first I was like, damn, okay, this makes so much sense.
And even though it's something I hadn't really taken into consideration, you're getting this car. The first thing I didn't think of was, oh, you're gonna sell it. But imagine you just get given this freaking Aston Martin and now you've got to figure out, okay, the tax is like a couple thousand, the insurance is some couple thousand, and probably the gas to just put in it is way too much for most people. So it makes so much sense to just sell it, take the 100 grand.
And not to mention, it's a 2-seater car for a family of 4. It really doesn't work.
But even with this knowledge of the fact that she is going to sell it, at the end of the day, we are still here to shoot a video for Mr. Beast, right? We're still trying to make the video good enough to where it can show off the wow factor of somebody winning a car. So we push forwards, trying to get a few more shots.
And I thought it was gonna be a good idea to jump in and just reverse it back, so I'll like pull up in this car, and this car had some power.
Not as much power as mine though. I think I made that very clear to them.
This is when we cue the clip of Elliot trying to flex on the Aston Martin dealer about how quickly his car goes versus this one.
So it's a 4-litre V8 twin turbo. 0 to 60 is about 3.6 seconds.
3.6. Mine's 3.1.
So once we got all of our shots in, the winner decided to be like, okay, yeah, we'll just meet you back at the Aston Martin dealership and, you know, we'll do the exchange. So as we got all of the shots that we needed of the car, we decided we needed one more shot of the actual Feastables bar in store on shelves at Asda. And we were praying that there was some sort of charger near where we needed to go. Because at this point, what were we sitting on, like 15%?
I think even less than that. I feel like we were getting very close to below 10.
So we head to the nearest Asda, and very, very luckily there was an IKEA pretty much right next to it. And we finally got it on charge, and I'm pretty sure we were under 10% when we actually got there, right?
Yeah, we were.
So your heart was probably pounding as the Tesla owner.
Plugging it in at 9 or 8%, whatever we were at, felt amazing. It was like... I can relax.
I think at the point that we found the charger is when our luck began to turn. Because the first Asda that we went to, yes, they had Feastables, we got the shot.
But that's not the best part, right? The best part was that randomly this Asda had a cinema here. This was a huge jump.
Cinnabon is a rarity in the UK. US people, don't you take it for granted. And I think all in all, my ultimate thoughts of the whole situation was, you think that giving away an Aston Martin to someone is going to be easy. It turns out it's not. But ultimately, I think, you know, she made the right decision by wanting to sell it. It was kind of just like a mistake on my half, just believing that she was going to keep it. I didn't even think about that. And I think anyone in that situation, including myself, probably would have sold the car because it's just not that practical. But it makes for a fantastic video, and we had an absolute blast. And we were just so thankful to even have the opportunity to experience something like that. So maybe, I mean, Mr. Beast, if you want to give away a few more houses or even an island, your UPS delivery drivers, hey.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Onward and upwards.